All right, y'all. Spontaneously hopping on the show. I'm sure he's very busy. I don't know how long he's going to be joining us. The man, the myth, the legend, Flex from Jersey is here.
What up, my brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. How you doing, man?
What's up, Planet Orange? What's up, Suns Geek? The whole community, man. I love y'all dudes, man. And just happy to jump on. I'm blessed that you gave me a couple minutes, man.
Of course, man. Take all the time you need, man. Something new I've been introducing here, just getting fans on, letting them kind of like how you call in, dude, Arizona Sports and John Bloom, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
that. So talk to us, Flex. What's going on? What are you hearing? The stage is yours, man.
Bro, I'm feeling ecstatic right now. I'm feeling really good about the conversations I'm having. I just literally before I jumped on to check out your show, I got your notification because you're my guy. And anytime you do something, I get
Thanks,
that
man.
notification. So,
You're a real
but
one.
I was literally on a phone call with some of my contacts at the team hotel in Charlotte, right before I jumped on with you, man. And just talking about practice and what they're seeing and how Kevin is looking and the energy of the team and the locker room and the camaraderie, man. And these guys are ready to go, man. These guys are chomping at the bit. And I don't think people understand enough the behind the scenes stuff. Like people want to see the game. People want to see KD versus OKC in Milwaukee, but there's a hell of a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that's just as important. And yeah, the Slim Reaper's looking like he's ready to go per my conversations, man. He's looking like the old Kevin before the MCL sprain. And
Let's go.
we got 20 games, my guy. We got 20 games, which is, people want to also there's a lot of people that I've heard say, "Oh, it's 20 games enough." Guys, I've been around the game of basketball my whole life. Let me tell you something. 20 games is my barometer. Like when I go into a season, I tell people at the beginning of the season, I say, you're going to know who we are in 20 games because that's what it takes. 20 games, you'll know who you are. And that's what we got. We got 20 games, and that's technically 25% of an NBA season. That's not something to you got to take that seriously. It's a heck of a lot of basketball. So I'm excited, brother. You see, I came on the show with you and I got a particular hat on, baby.
Yep.
And I don't think that's I think I'm trying to send a message here, guys. I'm trying to send a message here, man.
Just real quick, Flex. This is Devin Booker's draft day hat. He wore
Let's
this when he
go.
got drafted.
I remember.
felt like this was a special. And then I'm a big All-Star Weekend guy. I had to rock the All-Star shirt.
You got it.
But Flex,
You
that is
got it.
huge, man. I got like a billion questions for you, and
Let's go.
I know you got
Listen.
things to do, man. But
No, listen. I jumped on because you're my brother, and we've been meaning to do this, and we're gonna do
yeah,
our show. Hopefully, we're gonna have a whole show to do. But I'm gonna be honest with you, brother, and I don't want to take time from other
no, it's
listeners
okay.
and stuff. But I'm with you. What you got? I got time for you. So if you got questions, let's do it.
You know what? Man, just real quick, because I was talking to Iverson Vlogs about it, and I've had people ask me this in my own live shows, and I'm sure you've gotten this question a million times. I don't even know if this is a question really, but let's just real quick start the fifth starter thing, because Monty Williams, man, he rewards people that works hard in practice. He rewards players that play well in games. Josh Okogie. And Torrey Craig, I'm not saying he's been bad, but he hasn't been producing like he did when he was starting, when we had all those injuries and everything. Who do you believe will be the starter? Do you think Jacob from the Uncontested podcast, they're an Oklahoma City Thunder podcast, he explained this. I guess he worded it perfectly. He was like, is it going to be a revolving door with the starting lineup? Do you believe that?
I did a show. I did a show with Fox 10 Phoenix, Richard Science this weekend. And I did a coast to coast show, I think, about a week ago. And that's what I think is going to happen, man. I really do. Listen, I think that this team, at the end of the day, the core four of DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul, that's going to be consistent every night. Okay. And so I believe that fifth guy right now, if you ask me today, based on the conversations I'm having behind the scenes, That is going to be on a matchup basis.
Yep.
Okay. So if we're playing one of the top teams in the West that has a dynamic point guard, example, Ja Morant, Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, on and on, because there's a bunch of point guards in the West. If we're playing a team that has a dynamic point guard, I think you're going Josh Okogie, because Josh Okogie allows you to do some of the things that Mikal used to do in regards to kind of clamping in on one guy and just making it hell for him. But if you're playing a more traditional lineup and a big chunk of their offensive firepower is coming from the front court, I think you go with Torrey Craig. And so right now I'm leaning towards Josh and Torrey kind of rotating based on matchups, which is fine because the core four is good enough to handle that situation.
Exactly.
You're not talking two guys or three. You're talking about four solidified guys that can play with anybody. Matter of fact, just to be a little humorous here, me and you could play the five, right?
Exactly.
Me and you could be the fifth guy. That's how good those guys are. So I think it's going to be a little bit of that at the beginning. And could that change as the season winds down based on how guys perform in those roles? Absolutely. But to start, I think that's what we're doing. And we're really deep. We're really deep because you see a guy like TJ Warren can't get on the court. And so we're really deep. But I think we have insurance policies behind insurance policies right now, which is a good thing to have, a good problem to have, for lack of better words.
Yeah, you took the words right out of me, man. I feel like the Suns do have a lot of good problems right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like our bench is a lot better than people, the national media, are giving us credit for. You know what I mean? These are good problems to have. And I guess that's kind of my next question. And you did reference it. TJ Warren and Darius Baisley. What TJ Warren maybe has 15, 16 minutes under his belt since he returned. Hasn't played in like last game or whatever it was, last two games. Do you know, or what are your thoughts on why TJ isn't playing? And also Darius Baisley, because I feel like he's going to be a good addition to our team. Maybe in certain moments and certain matchups, he might be a good addition. So what are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, let me start with Darius, because I like Darius.
Yeah, me
I'm a
too.
big fan. I'm a big fan of Darius. I'm excited that we got that kid in the gym. I'm going to continue to say this. We may not see him in games and on the court, but in the gym, we're getting him. We're getting our hands on him in the gym in quality minutes. And here's something I want to say, Brandon. This is a 22-year-old kid that's 6'9", that can guard 5 positions, who's uber talented, but was in a situation in Oklahoma City where they were gifting minutes. And we know the problems that come with gifted minutes. I don't think I have to remind people of Dragan Bender, Marquise Chris, and Josh Jackson. Right?
The real ones know.
Right. Those guys, and I'm gonna tell you something. Those guys were talented basketball players. They just were not ready for the minutes of the NBA and the grind of the NBA.
And our
so
team at
Darius,
the time too, and
correct,
the was.
correct. So Darius falls into that category in a sense where they're saying there's no more gifted minutes here. We got 3 first ballot Hall of Famers in your locker room practicing with you every day, brother. Like, you got to work, you got to improve your game, and you got to start to find your niche with a good team, not an okay team. Forget good, a great team. And so there's a difference. And so I think they're going to continue to work him behind the scenes. And I think that in a situation where we get in foul trouble or something were to happen, you could see Darius. Now, TJ is a different thing, my guy. TJ is a different, because this is a talented player that's proven what he can do in the NBA. The difference is, brother, is we're deep, man. We're deep. Like, you got 20 games left. You want to kind of lean on continuity. And it's just a tough spot for TJ, but what I'm hearing is he's being a pro. He's got some really good relationships in that locker room. Him and Devin Booker are really close. They've been in contact for years. And so he's got the right people in the corner, and I think he's a pro. And when opportunity comes about, he'll take advantage of it. But until then, right now, the right thing to do is to shorten the rotation and start to lock in on a 9-10 man rotation. That's gonna. Can I say one thing without being
Yeah,
long winded? I'm
go
sorry,
for it.
brother.
No, go for it.
It's your
This
show.
is the floor
So
is yours, man. Go for it.
here's what I'm here's I had a conversation this weekend while I was out there. We were talking about this very situation, and I'm just gonna paint a picture for you in a situation where TJ plays. Okay, to break as a coach to break down rotations at its simplest form. When I was a coach and when I had lineups that was crazy deep, the easiest way for me to mathematically and basketball intellect jump in and say, okay, how am I going to figure this out? Is I got to get my starting five, and I want at least one true backup at every position. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down real quick. Chris Paul's your point guard, so that means Campaign's your backup point guard. That's two guys. Okay, let's do the math. Now you're going to go Devin Booker at the 2. I like, per my conversations, I believe Terrence Ross is the guy that's going to be backing up Devin Booker going forward. Okay. So now that's 4 guys. So now we move to the 3 is where it gets kind of convoluted. Let's say we give TJ minutes. Let's say we go Josh Okogie at the 3 and we put TJ behind him at the 3. That's 6 people. KD is your starter at the 4 with Torrey behind him. That's 8. And then you're going to have DeAndre Ayton with an emergency backup and maybe Bismack Biyombo, who's going to probably be the 10th guy because they value defense. Now, that's 10 guys. Okay,
And experience too.
And experience, correct. Now, that's 10 guys, and that's with TJ in the rotation.
Yep.
Now, here's what you just did. You just took away Damian Lee, the best three-point shooter in basketball percentage-wise. He can't play now. Okay? That's what you just did. Landry Shamet can't play now. Okay? So Ish Wainwright can't play now. And so when you look at that, you start to say, you're going to lose somebody. And I think the Suns are more comfortable losing TJ Warren than they are losing Damian Lee right now. And I think that's the line in the sand right there. Is if we play TJ, that means to play Damian, we're going to have to go 11 deep. And that's just way too much. So right now, correct. So right now, I think they're leaning towards letting Damian continue to work and get those minutes. But that can change, and we'll see how practice and everything else goes and see if later on in the season TJ can find his way into the rotation. But tough situation, brother. It's a numbers crunch. And right now, I think TJ is kind of right on the edge of being the odd guy out.
You know what, though, man? While you were talking about all that, I can't repeat this enough, man. I really believe this. And I feel like Monty Williams, James Jones believe this as well. These are good problems to have. Look at some of the names you mentioned. Like TJ Warren's going to be a professional coming off of the bench. You know he can light it up when he gets hot. Damian Lee, whenever he gets out of this funk that he's in, we've seen what he can do, especially in the fourth quarters. Then we just got guys up and down the roster. The way that I've always looked at it is, I mean, obviously Kevin Durant changes everything. Yeah. But you want to, and I'm going to kind of use this word lightly, but you want to experiment now rather than in round 1 of the playoffs where it's a 7-game series, win for your life. You know what I mean? So I guess that's my takeaway from that. And I really believe that Monty Williams and James Jones believe that as well. I didn't read the full quote about what Monty Williams said. I have the article saved for later, but he talked about you can't play everybody. And he's right, you know, especially in a game against the Bucks or even a young upcoming Thunder team as well. That's why I feel like the Charlotte game's pretty important too, because I mean, you know, winning in basketball is hard. Let's be real. But I'm pretty confident tomorrow against a bad Hornets team who just lost LaMelo Ball, and that sucks. I really like LaMelo Ball a lot.
Prayers out to Melo, man.
Yeah. And that injury was strange, man. That was scary, but I don't know. I
had that injury, brother. I actually had a hairline fracture in the ankle, and it was tough. So I'm praying for him. Those are tough ones to go through, man.
Yeah. Flex, again, man, I got like a million questions for you, and you can go whenever you need to go. Just real quick, though, because I kind of saw some people talking about this. You know how Suns Twitter is. Do you think that this roster is set? Because I think the buyout market date or the deadline date is March 1st or something like that. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nerlens Noel, whatever, just got recently bought out. Do you believe that this roster's set? Because I feel like we signed Saban Lee for a reason. You know what I mean? Like Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
going with that? Like, do you think
Yeah,
that this
I get where
roster's
you're
set?
going. Yeah, you listen, they're comfortable. I'll say
Yeah.
that. The Suns are comfortable right where they are. They don't feel the need to have to do anything else. Okay, but they're going to be professionals and they're going to continue to have these conversations behind the scenes and kick the tires because you have to. That's your job. If there's a potential within the next, you know, 14 to 24 hours that someone shakes loose and that person can be an insurance policy for you, you have to think about it. So yes, I will say that if I had to give you a gauge right now on this conversation, at this moment, I think they're comfortable where they are. But I will not go as far as to say that they're not still having conversations because they are. I know emphatically there's a couple people they're still poking the top, kicking the tires on. And if those situations work out, they'll have a decision to make because you have to have the guy signed under to the Phoenix Suns by March 1st for them to be playoff eligible.
Yep.
And so it's a lot to cram in to this next 24 hours. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't want to go so far as to say they're done, but my educated opinion based on the conversations I'm having, I'm gonna say they're very, very, very comfortable with where they are. They don't feel pressed to do anything else unless something changes rapidly here.
Which, because obviously this KD stuff happened like at
Yeah,
midnight. It was midnight for me when it happened, so anything
yeah,
could happen. And if I know James Jones, like I believe I know James Jones, he's always looking. He's always trying, as he likes to say, improve this team and what's best for the team and all that.
that's right.
So real quick, Flex, can you just talk about your excitement for tomorrow? And this is sort of, I guess, two questions in one. Can you talk about your excitement for tomorrow? And can you talk about what you're going to be watching for tomorrow? Because all eyes are going to be glued on KD. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to be watching that too, but I want to see how we look on offense and just how Kevin Durant looks, like body language. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to be very excited. I mean, this has been a long time coming. And for people like you that know me, that have been riding with me for a long time, you know how much time and effort this whole thing has taken. It's been 9 months of my life. And so yeah, I'm watching that game like like somebody that's truly invested in this because it's just been since May 15th of last year that I've been having these conversations. So it's nice to see it come to fruition and finally put that under water under the bridge kind of. But as far as what I'm looking for, if I'm being honest, I'm looking at that game and I'm paying very close attention to the defensive end,
Yep.
if anything. Okay.
That's what I was saying.
I'm paying close attention to the fact that, we know DeAndre Ayton can be fantastic defensively when he's got the right people around him and he's heavily motivated. Okay. So DeAndre Ayton from 2 years ago, that defensive DeAndre Ayton, I think that guy is still around. And so I think I'm looking to see how he elevates defensively. Let's talk about something. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are fantastic defenders. Okay, they're no longer these aren't liabilities. Kevin is one of the better defensive players at his position in the league, and Devin Booker got all NBA defensive votes last year. Okay, so these are guys that play both ends. So people are saying, "Hey, we lost Mikal defensive." Let's let it play out, guys, because these guys can play some defense. We know Josh Okogie can play defense. So I'm looking at the defensive end, and then I'm also looking at something that maybe most people don't pay too much attention to, but I'm looking at how they handle minutes and
Yep.
rotations when the game is out of reach. So what I mean by that is we're up 25 and this game is cooked. Do you see TJ Warren now? Right? Do you see Darius Baisley now? And what do those guys do with those opportunities? Because that's going to happen a lot in these 20 games, brother. There's going to be a handful of games that the Suns, game's going to be over by the third quarter. And then the Suns are going to say, okay, here's your moment. And I think that is going to be the underlying storyline that people may not pay pay too close attention to, but can get you back in a rotation and could be like, oh wow, we didn't see that coming, but hey, we put TJ in the fourth quarter and the dude dropped 18, right? So these are the things that happen in a basketball game. So I'm looking forward to the defensive end, and I'm looking forward to how they manage minutes and who actually plays if the game were to get out of reach or out of hand.
That's exciting, man. And that's some great things to be looking forward to. I'm 100% with you, man. I feel like we're going to overanalyze every Kevin Durant possession tomorrow. And as we should, because let's be real, that's what the coaching staff's going to do.
Yeah.
That's how it just works, man. I'm excited for that as well. And it's just going to be exciting, let's say 5-6 games, once Kevin Durant plays consistently. Because now we're going to kind of get a preview of what it's going to look like. And Kevin Durant even talked about that when he was with, at the press conference. He's like, yeah, me and Kyrie and all them played good for 17 games. You know what I mean? Like, that's the exciting part. And like you said, some of these games being done with by the third quarter and handling those minutes. And again, how Monty Williams goes about it, rewarding players that work hard in practice and on the court and all that. But yeah, the rotations, and that's kind of been Monty's flaw at times, has been his rotations and how he goes about things. I've always said, and I get it, sometimes he trusts his players a little too much. But again, Kevin Durant changes all of that. So I don't know where I was really going with that. But.
You got no, you nailed it, man. Listen, when you trade for Kevin Durant, these are basketball savants, man. These are the best of the best that the human race can provide, brother. Like this is beyond good. This is generational, once in a lifetime stuff. So it's going to help Monty because one, Monty has a relationship with KD that goes back to OKC, that goes back to Team USA. So there's a trust factor there that you can't put a number on that. And then you also still got Chris Paul and you got Devin Booker. So in essence, you got Monty Williams on the sideline and you got three guys that you can trust to be the coach on the court, on the floor. And so those guys are going to have input on some of these rotations, and they're going to feel certain things, and they're going to be comfortable enough going to Monty saying, hey, this feels good. This works good. Ride with that for 3 more minutes, because that happens in basketball, man. People, you watch the game from afar on TV and you're not privy to how those things work. But I'm telling you right now, there's times Monty is going to go to the circle in the bench and Chris Paul tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, keep Josh in 2 more minutes. I like what I'm seeing. That happens a lot. And KD will do the same thing. And I've seen Book do it. So it's going to happen. And I want to just throw this out there for everyone listening, all these great people that are tuning into your show, man. You deserve all your flowers, man. You do a tremendous job. I want to say this right here, okay? The Suns are not going to go 20-0. They're not going 20-0.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
They're going to lose a game. Okay? And they're going to potentially lose a game and maybe not look good that night.
And it's going to be the end of the world on Suns
Twitter. Don't do that, guys.
I'll be overreacting as well.
No, don't go there, guys, because this is just these guys are pros and they're the best in the business, and they have off nights just like we do. I roll out of bed sometimes and I don't want to get on the conference call, and you don't get the best version of me. You know what I mean? But that happens.
You should have seen me around the trade deadline, man. My brain was fried. I went and just, oh my God.
hey, bro, I'm telling you 100%. I went 36 hours with no sleep.
I was going to ask you about that.
I went 36 hours.
From your original thought, but
no, I went 36 hours, no sleep, brother.
I believe it. I really believe it.
It was crazy, but I'm glad it's over. Trade deadline week in my household is crazy. My wife, my kids, they all know. Even my dog gets mad at me because it's just work, man. It's work. So it was tough. But yeah, we're not gonna go 20-0. But guess what? Kevin Durant, 20 games in Brooklyn, and I'm out here. I understand I have connections with that organization, and I follow them closely. They went 18-2 during a 20-game stretch with KD before things got crazy with the injury and stuff. So Are we capable of going 18-2, 17-3? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They'll have a bad game here or there, but I'm looking at this 20 games and the schedule, and I'm saying, man, I could so see this team going 17-3 and potentially getting that 2 spot. I don't think it matters, brother. I don't think it matters as long as they get a top 4 seed and they get home court in the first round. That's all I care about. But I think this 20 game run is going to be crazy. If they come out the box 4-5-0, watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
You see, that's why I referenced that whole, like, it's going to be exciting when Kevin Durant plays like 5 games consistently. Then we'll really see what this team's going to look like. And I made a video not too long ago where I went over the schedule post All-Star break. And one of my takeaways from that was there's a lot of days off in March. Believe it or not, there really is. That's exciting because that's more time for KD to rest up, practice, shoot around. Because, there's not much real practices throughout the season. But heck, even a shoot around is important. And, more time to study the playbook. But don't get me wrong, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but there are some tough teams we're going to play. I know we played the Thunder 3 times. That was one of my biggest takeaways. We saw how good they can play, and they've been winning. Don't be surprised if they make the play-in tournament. And the Western Conference is so fragile right now. It is so fragile. And again, like you said, all that matters is that we get a seed and that we get home court advantage in the playoffs. And I do want to just kind of repeat what you said. Suns Twitter, Suns fans, including myself, don't panic when we lose. Don't panic. Everything's going to be okay. We have Kevin Durant, future Hall of Famer, and we got Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and we have a lot of good problems right now. So
great problems.
Yeah, great problems. Yeah.
Great owner.
Yep. Oh, man.
Great owner.
Yep.
Okay. Great owner that wants to spend. Beautiful stadium in downtown Phoenix. Best practice facility in the world. Best place to live if you're a pro athlete. Prime destination. People want to be here. Man, soak this up, Planar. Stand up, man. Enjoy this, man. We about to be on a hell of a ride for the next 3-4 years, man. So enjoy this and do not lose sleep when they have one bad game, because you're gonna have about 3-4 years plus of prime time basketball in downtown Phoenix. So you guys all give yourselves a round of applause. Tap yourself on the shoulder for thugging this out, because we're in good shape, man. But Brandon, I love you, man. I love you. I love what you do. I love your show, bro. I'm a big fan. I'm glad we could jump on and do this. I don't want to take too much from your guys. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I want to be respectful of their time and stuff like that. But if you got any last question, man, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, just real quick, man. First off, thank you a million times. Thank you. This was unexpected, and I appreciate you watching earlier and commenting and all that. And thank you for hopping on and answering the question. This was on the fly, and you and I did pretty damn good together. But, and just so you know, guys, this was not pre-planned. I just went live. I was like, screw it, I got to talk about this. But just real quick, Flex, you were at the Deuce recently. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about that just before you get out of here? I don't want to take up too much of your time. Can you talk about your podcast? Can you talk about how that experience was? I tweeted at you. I was there in spirit. I would have been there if I lived in Phoenix right now. I would have been first in line. You know what I mean? So can you talk about that? Can you talk about Dan and how that experience was for both of you? And go for it, man.
It was surreal, man. It was surreal, man. The whole weekend, I flew cross country with my son. He's thinking about going to ASU. So we were out there. We had a great time. We did some stuff at the arena on Friday, worked with Fox, CBS, a couple networks out there, 98.7, KSRN. I'm sorry. I just want to give everybody their respect. But the Deuce Club, yes, the owner of the Deuce, Steven and Andy, their sons, Luke and Jake, they reached out, and they've been big fans for a long time. And they said, hey, man, it'd be really nice to get the coast to coast live at the club, exclusive hours. And we went in there and we did a great show. Dan Duarte, my co-host, that's my brother. The Coast to Coast podcast has come a long way, man. This whole Coast to Coast podcast thing, the origin of it goes back to a Twitter get together back during the pandemic, brother. We were in the pandemic. Yeah, we were in the pandemic. And I had never met Dan in my life, but we got on a call and we kicked it. And, I think playing around, he was like, "Hey, dude, I'd love to do a podcast with you." And at that time, I wasn't doing podcasts.
Yeah.
And I said, "Let's do it." And we had one show and it was incredible. And that's my brother now. So it was nice. It was fun, brother, because we went to the Deuce. We were able to do the live show remote. And then we were able to spend about an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours with Suns Twitter.
Yep.
People who came out and we gathered and we congregated and we had some drinks and we hugged each other and we laughed and we talked. And it was the dopest thing ever, man. And I tell you, I'm gonna tell everybody on this show right here, and I'm gonna tell you, because you didn't make it out, but I know you were there in spirit, and I know we're gonna do this. So we are going to do this again, and live at the show. I told everybody, I said, I promise you I'll be back out here in June, live from the Deuce at the NBA Finals. And everybody went crazy, and that was my promise. That was my prediction. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all missed it, get ready, because in June we'll be back out there, Planet Orange, and God willing, it'll be for the NBA Finals, and we'll have a great time at the Deuce Club, rejoicing, potentially getting ready for this parade in downtown Phoenix one day. So it's going to be fun, man. Crisscross, man. God bless these players and everybody that does it. We got to pray for health for every player, not only our guys. You got good karma. You want everybody to be healthy and strong, and you want to win the championship on the right accord. You don't want to win a championship because people got hurt. And so it's going to be fun, man. So yeah, if you missed the first time, come out the next time.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll chop it up and have a good time, brother.
Flex, you've been an incredible guest. Thank you for hopping on here, man. I wish I could keep you on for 3 hours, but I know you gotta go. I gotta eventually get going here in a little bit. But seriously, Flex, thank you. We got to do this again ASAP. Maybe once Kevin Durant gets a few games under his belt, I'll hit you up, man, and I'll try to do that in advance because I know you're a busy guy. So
we got it, brother. I love you, my bro. I love what you do.
Too,
I love everything you bring to this community, man. God bless you and your family, and we'll be in touch, brother.
God bless you, man. I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you so much, man. Everybody go follow Flex from Jersey. Flex 1,000,000 times. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, Planet Orange.
Thanks, man. Go Suns.
Go Suns.
Shout out to Flex from Jersey, man. That was an incredible segment. And you guys, that was not planned. I'll tell you that. That was just on the fly, and Flex was nice enough to hop on, and we obviously got more than we bargained for right there.